I suppose I should get this out of the way while I have the chance, shouldn't I? Hell, I probably am late with this one. Give me a moment to double check that. Because I might not be. So, the answer is I am not. I'm actually a weeker. This is a week before it needs to go up, so. Oh well. Hell, so, whatever. So, let's get some music going. I don't really have any Binding Blade music, so you'll have to forgive me. This one's a pretty tepid review. You know, 9 sessions we used. And we had the NSO rewinds and save states. It's as our cheats. I mostly just to speed things up because I didn't want to keep resetting constantly. So there we go. So 9 sessions ended on a plus 18 to story and a negative 4 to gameplay. Pretty low score, or all things considering, especially coming off of frickin' Trails. And I know everybody's going to want my head on a platter for that, but let's face facts, guys. This is just kind of a their game. I'm sorry. You know, I think there are better Fire Emblems out there. But there's also way worse, too. So, there's that. So, as ever, let's start with the story positives. And as ever, spoilers ahoy. Good sprite work, good animations, and good NPC chatter, as well as good banter and good use of atmosphere on the maps. Some good branching narrative in regards to Hector mode, external continuity in regards to the setup it has for Binding Blade. Yeah, if you thought all the foreshadowing for Binding Blade wasn't going to get a positive out of me, you're nuts. But that's beside the point. And yes, I know we have never gotten an official localization, but it actually is still good foreshadowing to that game. And since there are English patches of that, it's like, just because we don't have access to a previous game does not mean that those who have sought it out, who have actually experienced it, shouldn't be rewarded for that. There's some good foreshadowing for events that are within this game. And there's some good music direction. So, all of that's good stuff. Now, this next one might seem a little weird, but I do like the fact that the lords occasionally look right at the camera, and you can even see it, like the sprites actually shift so that their eyes are staring right into the camera in order to... Oh, I'm only recording, right? Yes, okay. I thought I accidentally went live for a second. Whoops! Oops, but no. I did not. Anyways, I just came from being live, actually. Anyways, but yeah, no, I like that acknowledgement, so positive there. Then we got into the characters that I enjoyed. Florina, yeah, honestly, I freaking love her. She's adorable. Ninian, good character. Eliwood, one of the most underappreciated characters in the entire franchise. Yeah, wait, did I give Hector a positive? Okay, I did give Hector and Lynn positives. But let me put it to you this way. I think Eliwood is better than Hector and Lynn. Not worthy of multiple pluses, in my opinion, but still good characters. So, unlike Desmond, Sonia is a villainous parent, an evil parent that I actually kind of like. Because Desmond is just an asshole who punishes loyalty when it would benefit him. Like, everything to do with Zephiel. Like, seriously. Seriously, Zephiel goes out of his way to try and please his father, and his father is just like, "You are an eyesore, fuck off, dude." You basically have a political pawn in the making who will frickin' have who you can use. What the hell? And yeah, we're gonna be jumping all over the place in terms of what songs are from where with this, because like I said, I don't really have much Blazing Blade music, so, or any for that matter. I guess I could have just done the YouTube thing, but oh well. Well, I don't care that much in this regard. I cared for Digimon, I didn't care for this one. So, yeah. Nino got a plus. I actually kind of thought she was a wonderful example of a misguided child. Jafar, I actually kind of liked him, liked the complexity with him. He's willing to kill, but he's starting to realize, maybe my reasons for killing shouldn't be for working with Nurgle, you know? Speaking of Nurgle, I honestly believe he's one of the better villains in the series. Even if some of the backstory stuff feels like it's trying to whitewash him a bit. It doesn't quite whitewash him, but it does seem so, and gee, coming off of 2 Trails games that tried to whitewash one of the actual, no really main villains, gee, I wonder why that would piss me off as much as it does. As I said, Hector and Lynn got positives. Took them a while, but they got there. Now we get into moments. The opening scene of Eliwood's campaign, aka Chapter 11, does in a few sentences what Lynn Mode failed to do in 10 chapters. It sets up the backstory. It establishes Eliwood and his father and the current situation. Like, seriously, talk about quality whiplash. Holy fuck. We'll bitch about Lynn Mode a bit later when we get to the negatives. Revealing that Layla was the reason Lynn's grandfather is still alive, when his death is ordered, or when Layla is ordered to kill him, is actually really great, and I actually kind of like that reveal. It's just too bad the next time we fucking see her, she gets fridged, but let's not get into that just yet. Then there's Elbert's death. Now, despite the weak presentation, I do think it's a good scene. Because Elbert dies, giving Eliwood the chance to get Ninian and Nils away from Dragon Gate, and even it actually has some follow-up in the next chapter. Chapter 2. It's an impactful death. Oh, and he went down swinging because Nurgle had to basically be absent for like 4 or 5 chapters past that point. Like, hot damn! You want to talk going out swinging? Meaning, like, seriously, Elbert proved Nurgle can be defeated. You know? Which is actually how that should be handled. I like the meeting with Athos, so that was a good scene. Eliwood giving Helen a verbal beatdown was just a great showcase of his character. Like, he literally sees how power hungry and just manipulative she is, and Eliwood basically just looks at her like, Zephiel is a son of a bitch. A literal bitch. You should be ashamed of yourself. You suck. Go fuck yourself. Oh, you didn't even get any information out of me. Don't fucking care. Here, fuck off. I like that. And that is a copyright song. Let's not. That is a copyright song. Let's not. Okay, FF12 music. Good enough. So, yeah. Love that. I love that. Chapter 20, Chapter 26 Gaiden. A great dive into Sonya and her delusion. Ujin. That is, of course, Night of Farewells, I believe it's called. It's the one where if you recruit Nino and get Nino to talk to Jafar, that's the map where you get Jafar on your team. So it may be undone, but Ninian's death hits. The impact is still there. It is wonderful. And I also gave a positive for the fact that the Elliewood support with her makes the scene more potent. That is a positive that if I ever re-review Fire Emblem Awakening, I will have to remember to give to Awakening. Specifically to the confronting Robin scene. If you've played Fire Emblem Awakening, you know the scene I'm referring to. And fuck all those people who say Robin should have killed Lucina in that scene. Anyways. Oh, that's Trails music. Okay, cool. I was like, wait, I recognize this, but I don't know. Okay, there it is. Anyways. Then there's Athos' death, which is good and gives some foreshadowing of Binding Blade, so that's cool. Ninian and Nils' farewell if you don't do the support with, between Ninian and Elliewood is actually kind of nice, and I like that. It's a nice touching scene. And the whole epilogue with Elliewood mode is sweet, heartfelt, and a great acknowledgement of the player. Then I get, this is also where I gave a gameplay story integration positive on both axes. And then there's the post-credits epilogue foreshadowing Binding Blade. Hey, that got a triple positive out of me. Then we shift over to Hector mode now. No, with Hector and Lynn's heart-to-heart on the pirate ship in the chapter Pirate Ship in Hector mode. Really nice. This takes place, by the way, Hector mode reveals that this takes place while Elliewood is talking with Fargus. So, that's cool. Great showcase of both of their characters. 19XX in Hector mode. It's an interesting, if brief, look into Nurgle without coming right out and saying it. So, good stuff. Hector and Oswin's discussion at the end of Hector mode, chapter 29, in my opinion, is well handled. It says quite a bit to how loyal Oswin is to both Hector and Uther. So, there you go. Then there's the scene between Hector and Oswin at the start of 31 Gaiden in Hector mode, which is a great examination of what Hector meant to Uther. So, then there's the scene at the end of 31 Gaiden, where Hector bids his brother farewell. A nice send off for the character. So, Batra and Carla's support chain. I absolutely love how adorably awkward that entire thing is, because Batra is fumbling that whole exchange every step of the way. I frickin' love it. Then there's the version of the Ninian and Nils farewell if you got Elliewood and Ninian to A support. It is sweet, touching, and a fantastic demonstration of how much Nils cared about his sister. Because Nils literally says, no, you love him. Go be with him. But I'll never see you again. Your happiness is more important. Go see him. Hey, go be with him. Go. I like that. Then there's Hector mode's epilogue, which, like Elliewood's, is a great acknowledgement of the player. It's a wonderful wrap-up to events. And I also gave the entirety of the outro, which I would say is both Elliewood and Hector mode. But either way, regardless of which one you consider as the outro, it's a good outro. So, positive there. 44 positives, 2 story. But we got quite a few negatives, so let's get to those negatives, shall we? we have some empty text issues, because sometimes things will just be said and we're just wasting dialogue, so yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Is it 5 or 6? Sorry, 6 characters that are all not good, in my opinion. Sane, really hate him being just a rude womanizer. I find him to just be stupid and irritating. Sarah is way too fucking arrogant for her own good, and her dialogue is a goddamn chore for me to get through as a result. Then there's Ludgren, who is the worst villain in the game, no question. He's a one-note boring Krennic, and frankly, I just wanted him off the fucking screen. We don't come to understand why he why he wants power, and the only thing we're really told is Lundgren did gain power, it would cause issues. So yeah, fuck him. He's just an asshole, and I don't have time for him. And he's just a power-hungry asshole, and I don't have time for him. Then there's Desmond and Helen, who literally are negatives for the same damn reason. Because they're one note, they're awful parents. Ugh. And yeah, I know. Medieval royalty and all that, but Fire Emblem has better written asshole little dads than this. Few, though they are in number, admittedly. Hell, there are better written evil parents in this very game, as we'd established with Sonya, for God's sakes. So yeah, Desmond can go fuck himself, and Helen can go fuck herself. And then there's Kishuna, who could have been an interesting character, but turned out to be just a giant nothing burger that I feel is wasted potential. So yeah. I hate the banter in Lin mode. It's more aggravating than fun. The scene in where Lin meets her grandfather in Lin mode is dumb. The power of family defeats months of poison. Yeah, this is something that strains even my suspension of disbelief. Like in Star Trek, if the Enterprise's medical facilities could cure months of Iridium 6 poisoning with a simple hypospray, that'd be more believable than this. And I mean that sincerely, And then there's the epilogue of Lin mode, which was just badly presented, and oh god. And I also don't like that the epilogue stuff moves way too fast. It's like, and worse, it's unfucking necessary. Why do we have a freaking scrolling epilogue at the end of Lin mode? Are people really just gonna put down the game and never play the rest of it after Lin mode? Actually, they might, because they fucking hated Lin mode. But yeah, no. Speaking of which, Lin mode in its entirety was a triple negative on the story, because I find it boring, actively disinteresting, and I hate it. The main villains get 1 mention, 2 if you do the Gaiden chapter, and there isn't even that much of a hint of what they're going to be like in the Eliwood and Hector modes. Yeah, I hated this intro. Oh, it is, in my opinion, the worst intro, story-wise, in the entire Fire Emblem series. There's no copy wrong. Then there's Oswin's line at the start of Chapter 12. So, Oswin... Hector is like, okay, so this guard here was just sitting on his ass watching bandits attack like a noble in their territory, right? And he's just sitting on his ass, effectively munching on popcorn. I'm gonna go help. I'm gonna go help Eliwood. And Oswin says, "Oh, that's just an excuse for more violence." Not Okay. Not, think of your political standing, not, or think, not think of your brother's position. We should gather intel first. No, 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 no. It's literally just, oh, you're just. He literally phrases it in like the stupidest way. Hey, Oswin doesn't care about the political ramifications. He's literally just insulting Hector. I mean, I get that Oswin's better in the frickin' supports, but with a line like that, is it any wonder why I didn't bother supporting him with anybody? Like, you talk like a fucking villain, I'm gonna fucking bench you. It's that simple. Or at least, if you blatantly talk like a goddamn villain, I will bench you, Or if you annoy me. That happens too. Anyways. Then there's Layla's death. Oh, God. Okay, so remember when I said that I wished Layla had more than 2 scenes? Well, this is it. There's the reveal that she didn't kill Lynn's grandfather. And then there's her death. It's the narrative fridging her. There's no nice way to say this. They can go away. It can go away. I also really don't like Jasmine and Paul from the chapter Living Legend. I feel their demeanor is kind of headache-inducing. I don't know. It just makes me go, with that. Then there's the scene where Nurgle takes Ninian. It's kind of crap in my opinion. The Lord stands still, it feels rushed, and it just feels like the KO blow that Nurgle does at the end should have been what instigated Ninian to say, no, I'm going to go with you, please don't hurt them. Cliched? Yes! But that's what should have frickin' happened. Then I gave her revival a double negative because it just comes right the hell out of nowhere, and this is an excuse for us to only deal with 1 instead of 3 dragons, even though only 1 dragon coming through the gate it would have been enough, but whatever. Also, the text speed on scenes that don't allow text fast forwarding is annoying. Then there's the start of Hector mode, which is just dumb. So, Hector wants to find Eliwood's dad, and his brother objects because he can't think of sending a small group with Hector to cover the political ramifications. You send Oswin and maybe a couple of others. They have a standardized greeting. My name is Hector of Ostia, and I am here asking if any of aiding in forays in the search for forays is Marquis. Do you have any information for me? Right? Polite, eat all of that. Hell, could even be a thing where it's like, if you want to use his excuse to fight, oh, the bandits are attacking a village. Hector shows up. Wham! Okay, bandits are dealt with. Oh, by the way, I have a favor to ask. And then, of course, the people would be willing, oh, yes, thank you. And it's like, and then he could just literally point at Eliwood and say, I am here because I am helping my good friend Eliwood, right? But no, instead it's just, no, I'm not going to help. He can go fuck. Elbert's dead. Fuck off. Again, reword this goddamn dialogue and stop making the characters look like assholes. It's so goddamn dumb. Like, seriously. All it would have taken is just, yes, take Oswin with you. Try to show a little decorum when you're in foreign territory, please. He's the last thing the Lycian League needs. needs is a headache, but show them that. But if you get pushed, don't back down, because Ostia does not back down from a fight that is shoved in their face. I mean, for fuck's sakes, there are literally multiple goddamn frickin' Marquises that are frickin' plotting with the Black Fang. Like, come on! Ugh. And then Hector mode did not get a single further negative. Well, except for the Oswin thing. But I don't really count that. But aside from the Oswin thing, the only other negative for Hector mode was Uther's off-screen death. Which was just... which felt like, oh, by the way, your bro is dead, Hector. Yeah, no. So, there you go. So, yeah, 18 positives. Visitors difference. Hey, we actually have some Fire Emblem music. A remix of a Fire Emblem song, admittedly. Alright, so let's get into the gameplay positives. As you can tell from the lack of a number there, yeah, it ended in the net negatives. Barely, with only a net -4, but still there. So, even though I don't have music playing for you, trust me when I say the music is 2 positives. I like the terrain tiles adding to the strategy. I like the good unit variety. There is some good map design on here, which is hilarious. Which is honestly hilarious to me because I am currently playing this thing. And this game doesn't have good map design. It does not. Then, so yeah, good map design. Triple positive for the combat animations. The GBA is basically going to... The GBA is basically going to consistently get... is this even on random? Oh, it is on random, okay. The GBA is going to consistently get triple combat animation pluses because I love how flashy they are enjoyable, and they actually make it so that I feel bad about turning off the animations. That's a sign of good animations, in my opinion. Good difficulty and power progression curves, as I actually do feel like you gain strength reasonably well, and you're not fully at the mercy of the RNG. Not really. And I just knocked over a bunch of cases. I'll deal with that after. I gotta finish this. Anyways. So, viscerality is on point. Sound design is well done. Encounter design and enemy variety. The variety in your units. All good stuff. All roads lead to Rome game design is on display. There are multiple ways to tackle maps in this game. Such as defeating bosses to end most survival maps early. I like that. There's some decent options, especially for a GBA game. Very nice. Some good itemization and loot. And yeah, I gave the Fire Emblem Core Combat positive because I feel like that's a good thing. Actually, I can actually add that to the Engage review, because I haven't closed it yet. Huh. Interesting. Let's put it... we'll put it here. So, here's a peek. Because on the Blazing Blade rating video, show that off. Anyways. Moving on. But yeah. So yeah, core combat of Fire Emblem continues to be awesome. good visual distinction. I never had trouble, looking at something and being like, I never looked at something and said, "What the hell am I even looking at?" As much as I love fairy tale music, I don't think it's fitting. And for this. Alright, so chapter 13, I thought had some good design. Elliewood chapter 13, I should clarify. I marked marked it with an H if it was Hector mode one, so yeah. Or said, in Hector mode, right? So chapter 13, good escalation of difficulty. Chapter 16 was a good map with some good challenge. The Gaiden map of 16 was another fun and unique challenge. I like arenas as the risk-reward thing that it was. And yes, we abused the hell out of the arenas. Because of course we did. Chapter 17 is honestly one of my favorite ones. I'm pretty sure that's Pirate Ship. Yeah, I'm right. It's Pirate Ship. And it's a fun map. So, kudos. Chapter 25 is a nice and simple map. Even if the snow is annoying, it can work to your advantage. If you want Harkin, but it's not so annoying that going for Carol is a chore. That is, of course, the Kenneth version. I did not actually ever get the, I forget his name. Version. I don't know if I gave a negative for that, but but I might have. We'll see when we get there. Then there's Chapter 26 Gaiden, which on the surface of it's boring and overlong, with its wait for the path approach. But honestly, I kind of found it fun as an endurance map, so it didn't feel like a slog. I can understand somebody calling it a slog, and I won't, if you hate Night of Farewells, I won't argue against you, right? The first part of the final chapter is tough, but it honestly is really fun for me, and to me, it's properly hard, right? It actually requires some strategy, so that's good. Then there's the final battle against the Fire Dragon. Both of these elements got triple positives. And then there's that gameplay story integration. So, who's ready for a script flipped? I'm going to be complaining a lot about the negatives. About Lin mode in the negatives, but Lin hard mode, none of that applies to it. Lin hard mode is legit. The hand-holding is gone. The difficulty is actually legit and not based upon the game forcing you to forcing you to guzzle paint thinner. And honestly, what's funny is that it's the hand-holding being gone and the enemies being a little stronger, which you think wouldn't add much, but holy crap, does it ever. And Wallace got promoted to General after I cheesed him to level 20, and that was satisfying as hell doing that. And yes, the game let me do that because I had a specific way to do that. I didn't have to. I wanted to. And that's the difference right there. It is, for all intents and purposes, better without the hand-holding tutorial, and so much so, it's a triple positive. Now, while I can't give credit to the whole Wallace not forcing promotion thing, since, common fucking sense, I can, however, subtract 2 negatives from Chapter 10, in normal mode, which I hid, and, spoilers, it's only getting 1, and in Chapter 10, hard mode exists, and it basically allows you to adjust your setup the way you want, rather than the game forcing a shitty setup on you. Chapter 10 on hard is more a test of skill rather than a test of patience. It still has the slogginess, admittedly, hence the normal version is still getting the 1 negative, but hey, credit where it's due. If the slogginess is less irritating on hard mode, I'll go ahead and give credit where it's due. Hector mode. Hector mode in general got a positive for being a good jump up in difficulty, as it provides a good challenge right from the get-go. With Hector hard mode, I looked this up, going even further by upping the enemy's stats and AI, as it should. So, legit difficulty options. Hector mode is basically hard, and Hector hard mode is effectively very hard. So, cool. Chapter 11 of Hector mode is a great example of tutorializing through game design, as the design shows you the value of stealing in this mode. So thieves are your friend in Hector mode, and even on Hector normal mode, absolutely. Chapter 15 of Hector mode is a fun little map that offers a great challenge, and well, no, the map does not end when you kill the boss. That gives you a chance to loot the chests on the map, so good stuff. And especially considering those chests contain a silver axe and a mend staff, two extremely useful items. Chapter 22 Gaiden. Chapter 23 Gaiden in Hector mode is actually an interesting map that also allows you to choose the final rewards. I like that. This is the second of the Kushina maps, and apparently you can actually get this one in Elliewood mode. Oh, right, because this is Genesis. This is the one just after Living Legend. Right. Okay. So, then there's Chapter 25 of Hector mode. Fun little unique map. I believe that is the one where Farina is recruitable. So that was cool. Regardless of which mode you're in, I do think the outro, gameplay-wise, is worthy of 2 positives. Absolutely. And while I I do not personally want to replay this game, the game, with the way it encourages you to go through it, is worthy of at least 1 replay plus. So, because the 3 positives for replayability are very simple. Would I play it again? Does the game encourage replaying? And does the game go above and beyond to try and encourage you? Yes, no, really, replay the shit out of this game. I can only think of one that I honestly believe is actually really worthy of a triple positive to gameplay for replayability. And it is not Death Note. Nor is it FF5, but honestly, I probably should give FF5 at least 2 positives for it. Maybe even 3, because there's a lot of... Actually, no, I should give FF5 a triple positive for replayability for one simple reason. The challenge runs. There is literally a celebratory challenge run that happens every year for FF5 called the 4-Job Fiesta. And FF5 is so well crafted that such an idea is it's perfectly suited. So there's 2 games that I think should get 3 triple positive for replayability: Final Fantasy V and Fire Emblem Three Houses. And yes, when I review both of those games, I am going to rectify that mistake of having not given those triple positives. So there you go. Which is funny, because if everything else remains the same, that means the gameplay score will go up to 42. Go figure. Anyways, that's it for the positives. Now we gotta slog through 51 negatives. Oh boy. Alright. The tutorial campaign, aka Lyn normal mode, being a forced tutorial. Triple negatives. Triple negative. Lyn normal mode, hand-holding nature. Okay, Lin normal mode being forced on you. That's a triple negative. Lin mode being a hand-holding tutorial that forces you to do very specific things. Means that can sabotage you. Who? Another triple negative. Negative. That one's for the flow of Lin mode. Then there's the fact that legendary weapons can break. Triple negative. Every time this shows up, I will be giving triple negatives to it. In fact, the only game with breakable legendary weapons were actually... Yeah, no, the only one that's not going to get a triple negative is the one, and that will get a double negative because of the findable legendary weapons. So, there's that. Then there's Lin's strength and defense growths being way too damn low, which in my opinion is negative worthy. Then there's walkthrough-itis in regards to the Gaiden chapter unlocks, as well as the secret shops and ops. So, yeah. Which I guess I could add an addendum onto that. That also includes the alternate maps, but I was thinking more in regards of things you would have to look up, right? Instead of things that would just get rewarded and then you would look up, wait, why did this map do this? Then you look it up, oh, that's why, right? So then there's Wallace forcing you to upgrade him to General in normal mode. God, I fucking hated that. Triple negative. Then there's Chapter 10. In Lin normal mode, I absolutely despise it. It is boring, sloggy, rain randomly impeding you, Ludgren being a difficulty spike that requires map-specific shops to fix. It just all screams hell. Thank God he's more fun to fight in hard mode, since, you know, you're expecting him to be hard there. Ugh. And then Lin mode just in general was a triple negative. So if you take out the walkthrough-itis and Lin's growths, that's 16 negatives on the intro. Not great. Honestly, I wonder if that's worse than I would do for FF13. I'd have to re-review FF13 to really gauge that, but I don't want to. At least not right now. Anyways, so targeting issues when it comes to healing and attacking abound. Game, there's clearly a more hurt character in range of my cleric. What the fuck? Actually, no, I lumped that into the interface, so never mind. Never mind, Engaged. No new negatives for you. But yeah, no. So, targeting issues, accuracy and evasion issues, because I feel like the enemies seem to hit often with a low chance, and you miss with a high chance way too often. So, yeah, 2 negatives there. The Lord fail state, always hate it. Soft reset not resetting the RNG. This is a GBA Fire Emblem problem. I hate it. No. 18 Gaiden is a great idea with shit execution, in my opinion. The idea here is that a few turns in, this dude, well, I guess we should say this person comes in and seals all magic in that, and that sounds neat and all, but most of the enemy is mages, and your mage pool, including healers, is 5 characters. It's meant to be a challenge, and it's a complete joke as a result, unless you're trying to get the Gaiden chapter, and that's just eyebrow raising. Then there's Chapter 22, Living Legend. which is chapter 23 in Hector mode. It's the worst map in Elliewood mode for me, no question. Pen steals your kills, good luck getting the hidden items, and if you want the Gaiden chapter, the game actively fights you on that. Now, there is a workaround with the rescue mechanic, but good lord. Lord, right? Would you think to do that? Now, in if you've played Sacred Stones before, you might, right, if you tested it out earlier. But no. Right? Because Sacred Stones literally tutorializes that. At rescuing allies, literally it tutorializes that with Ross, right? So. Oh, and did I mention that it's a desert map for no reason? Hector mode is honestly only slightly better with this map, so yeah, triple negative, it stands. Chapter 24 can fuck right off. Veda being the prime example. Yeah, I know I can recruit her, but after all the shit she puts me through... Ugh. Okay. So, alright, so here's one that I know most will say is me being an asshole, but the do A to get character A and do B to get character B annoys me. It annoys the shit out of me. This is, which is funny because this only happens like twice, and I feel like that's dumb since both characters could just show up, and then you could have, specific characters talk to those characters. Ugh. Then there's the limiting you to 5 support ranks total. Screw that garbage. Triple negative, it's crap, it's limiting it, and it forces replays. Fuck that. Which is why even if this game had a New Game Plus, I would not give that second replayability plus, by the way. Then there's Chapter 27, which can honestly just fuck right off with the constant flood of reinforcements. That is, Cog of Destiny, I want to say? It's the one where you fight either Lloyd or Linus, depending on which one you fought earlier in the game. Right? You defeat either Lloyd or Linus, and then the brother seeks revenge. Then there's the Poison Fetish in late Elliewood mode, and the Poison Fetish in Hector mode, which got a double and triple negative respectfully. I have no tolerance for that garbage. Moving on. We all know I have a status effect fetish hate boner, so there you go. Victory or Death can kiss my ass with the obnoxious reinforcements. Reinforcements. I think that was actually the one that I was thinking. No. Never mind. Nope, that's the one during the final battles. So never mind. They're both bad. Info in game, or at least the lack thereof. Negative. Then there's 19 Gaiden Part 2 of Hector mode, which just honestly is an annoying fog of war map, and I hate it. That's also the one with Nurgle's backstory, too, so there's that. That's 19XX. Farina costs you 20,000 gold, and there's no getting her for less. So, yeah, here you go, Farina. Your recruitment is a negative. Then there's Chapter 30 of Hector mode, which is actually the worst map in the game for me, hands down. This is the Berserker. Oh god, the poison jets. It's the obnoxious enemy placement, the thieves, my god, the fucking thieves. Yeah, triple negative. God, I hated that map. Oh. And then there's also that map and other examples of gotcha, which, to remind you, is not the microtransactions predatory crap. It's, as you can see on there, GOTCHA instead of GA. It's not GACHA, it's GOTCHA. As in, I got ya. Got ya. I should call it, that's what I should call it. Got ya. So, yeah. Then there's the final guidance chapter in Hector mode, The Value of Life, which is, in my opinion, awful, sloggy, and not helped by Kishuna's ridiculous evasion. So, yeah. For a grand total of a final score of -4. You know, I think I'm just gonna keep those rewards, or it's for like special games, that whole discussing things thing. But regardless, if you want to know specifics, I will go ahead and tell you. So with an average of 14. So with 14, the final score being 14, if we divide that by 9, we had a positive on average of 1.56 positives per session, roughly. It's 1.555 repeating, so I upgraded it to 5.16. So basically 1.6 positives, basically roughly 1.5 positives per session. Kind of low, but them's the breaks. That's Blazing Blade, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this in the Woolstand proper video, but if this is your first Fire Emblem game, I do recommend this as a starting point. But if you are a veteran of the franchise and you're not a completionist who has to play every single Fire Emblem game, you don't need this one. I'm not going to say avoid, because it's not actually, in my opinion, avoid territory. I just don't recommend it. It gets a stamp of not recommended, right? So, that's it. Blazing Blade, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I was kinder to it. Until we meet again, Blue Wolf Alex, which, from the YouTube side of things, will be the VODs of Fire Emblem Engage, which will, of course, from the perspective of when this goes live, will be on Monday. So there you go. Which is ironic because this is a Friday. I'm recording this too. It's just a week before it goes live. So there you go. Anyways, I'm rambling. I should cut this off. Those are my thoughts. Until next time, Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. See you later.